Hello everyone, welcome to this session this afternoon, Positive Reinforcement. I can see there's quite a lot of you have arrived already, so we will get started. I don't like to wait for latecomers. So my name's Hilary Nuns and I'm sure that you've clicked through a link here to join today, so welcome. Just if you haven't attended a webinar before, just a couple of housekeeping things. If you have any problems with your connection or the tech, then just don't worry about that. You can either switch off and come back in again, join in again, or you can just wait until you get an email from someone at the office giving you a copy of the recording. Okay, so don't worry too much. I know sometimes it can be unstable if you're working on a school or a college system. The other thing is, on the right hand side or somewhere on your screen you should have a control panel, and on there there's some place where you can put questions and chat. Because there's so many people attending this afternoon, I'm not going to be able to deal with that live, but you can put questions or chat in that section, and then we'll look at the end of the session, okay, and then we'll have a feedback on a couple of questions. So let's get started. I can see someone's actually got a question there already. Let me just see. Okay, that's fine. We're not expecting anyone to join in with the microphone, so don't worry if you haven't got a microphone. So then, Skinner's operant conditioning. This is based on the work of Thorndike. So Skinner was kind of continued that work, which was about cause and effect, and it was a long time ago when he actually worked on this theory that he coined operant conditioning. But it was about observable behaviour, cause and effect, and the BF, it would be nice if it was something simple like Brian, but actually his Christian name was Burrus, middle name Frederick, B.F. Skinner. So Skinner's operant conditioning is something that we use all the time, although we don't realise it. Some people don't realise where it's come from, but it's really about the reward system. So operant conditioning, that's what it means, changing behaviour by the use of reinforcement. Skinner says if you reward, it's very likely, although it's more probable, that the behaviour would be repeated. You think about when you're training a dog or an animal of some, circus animal, whatever it might be, you want them to perform in a certain way, and to get them to do that, they get a treat. And that's quite simple, isn't it? And the picture that's here, if it was a mouse, although that's unlikely, if the mouse was able to push that lever, the mouse could learn that they may get cheese at the end of it. So it's a very simple process, but it's about reinforcing the behaviour repeatedly. So it has to be done repeatedly in order for it to work. Skinner, when he was doing his own tests, he used pigeons, and if you go online, and there is a little video somewhere, it's on one of the psychology websites, it shows it demonstrates how he did his tests, and it has real footage of the pigeons in their containers, and what they learned to do was to tap a coloured button and then the food dropped into the feeding tray. So the pigeon learnt that, and that's where he realised that it was the reward process which helped to reinforce the behaviour. So if you drill that down into real terms, you have to know what's in it for you. If you're going to get a reward, you're more likely to repeat the behaviour. When we talk about this in terms of education, we hear of teachers ignoring the negative and praising the positive behaviour. When you're young, if you're a young pupil, it's quite well known that the reward charts, the stickers, the positive notes home, the pleasing smile from your teacher will make you feel happy. It will make you feel that's your reward for doing something well. Smiley faces. Even if you join groups now, you might get a sticker for long term, you get a certificate when you pass a qualification. It's about saying well done. If you ignore the negative behaviour, you're not encouraging it, and that's the theory behind it. So this is really sort of in a nutshell. Positive reinforcement works by providing a motivating incentive. So after they've behaved in the way you'd like them to, they get their motivating incentive, and it makes the behaviour more likely to happen in the future. And that's the basis of positive reinforcement. You know, some students, it's quite easy to do this with them because they like to please you. You're always going to have a mixture of students that don't care, or they don't show that they care, and those that really, really love and aspire to reward. So it's easy to reinforce that behaviour, isn't it? Others may need a bit more coaxing, and as young people go through the education system, those reward systems actually become less and less. It's seen as being something for the small kids, but actually in society and in life, we all have our own motivators, don't we? We go to work to earn the money. We paint or create something because it makes us feel good. There's all kinds of reasons why we do things. But when you boil it back down to education, you know, it's quite difficult. Some of those that need coaxing, that it's about relationship building, it's about helping them to improve their self-esteem and having trust that you are actually rewarding for something that they've done well, or you've noticed that they've done something well. So stickers and rewards, stick with it, in my opinion. Whatever it might be, whatever the reward might be, it doesn't matter how old the student is. And here's an example, a couple of examples of positive reinforcement. A mother gives her son praise for doing homework. Well, I have to tell you at this juncture that in my house of teenagers, that's not enough. That is not enough of a positive incentive for doing homework. But I'm sure it is for younger pupils. Another thing is a boy receives £5 for every good report at parents' evening. That's a motivator, isn't it? I know, you know, when exam time comes around, whatever it might be, you can make promises to your young people. If you're a parent, you can make promises and say, if you work hard and you achieve well, then you will get this reward. And it's quite easy to do that. So in the classroom, you can replicate that. You can make some positive incentives for good things that are happening. And here's some ways to easily positively reinforce, or to use the language. I really like this. I think it's quite easy to remember, which is why I like it. When you have done this thing, we will do that thing. So an example of the when you, we will approach is when you've finished your work and put everything away, we will go for a break. So the young person knows what's in it for them. They know what will happen, the reward for doing that. So you can use when you, we will, or just think when, then. That's a very good and easy way. Think of your environment, how you can apply that. Positively reinforce what it is you want with a motivator. Here's another one, another idea. If you're in IT and one of the problems is that everyone's always on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it might be, you could say when you stay away from non-social media websites, you can earn internet time, or whatever else it might be. If it's for younger pupils, it might be that if they finish their work and did it all properly, they may have messy time or carpet time, or whatever it is that they like to do. It has to be a positive motivator. So that's positive reinforcement, and I think that in your own environment you'll be able to pick up a few things that you can apply that to quite easily. So what we know about reinforcement is that it strengthens the behaviour. It makes it likely that a person will behave that way again, but that's not always positive, is it? It could be the negative reinforcement. Sometimes we might bring our own negative reinforcement and then wonder why things go wrong. It's true, we're all human. Sometimes we react in a way which perhaps is not conducive to positive reinforcement, but hey, here's an example. This is a real one actually. Donna is a reluctant student. She comes to class very late and her teacher sends her away. So I'm not thinking years 3 and 4 here, I'm thinking older students. It could be that Donna's been told if she comes late to class she won't be let in. It could be that she comes late to class and you have a big argument and her teacher says, I don't want you in the class. Either way, Donna has won. She's a reluctant student, remember, so she knows that by arriving late she'll get into conflict and she's asked to leave. It's not her fault then, is it? and it's been positively reinforced, or rather, sorry, negatively reinforced, that this will happen. It strengthens the behaviour. It increases the chance of it happening again. What we need to try and do is break this negative cycle. So if you can think of some things where perhaps unwittingly you're negatively reinforcing the behaviour you don't want to see, you need to try and step back at it and be quite critical of it and think what you can do differently. So here's a little bit of homework for you. I'd like you to write down the behaviour that you commonly see and how it's negatively reinforced, and be honest with yourself. We're all finding ourselves in positions that we don't want to find ourselves in, and if we look at it critically, then think what you could do to positively reinforce it. It might be that you start off by just not managing or just ignoring the negatives and only focusing on the positives, and then when you spot someone going from negative to positive, you're on it. You say, well done, that's fantastic. You give them the extra attention to it, consciously, mindfully. So what you need to do is rephrase your everyday questions and instructions to positively reinforce the behaviour you'd like to see. In my opinion, that's got to be turning to say what your students or your pupils can do, what you want them to do, and then saying well done afterwards. Rephrase it. What you want them to do, not what you don't want them to do. Now, luckily for us, the Big Bang Theory has done quite a bit on positive reinforcement, and I've got this clip here. Now, it's always going to be a bit dodgy running an internet program on an internet program, but we'll see how it goes. I want you to see it because it's actually quite powerful.
Are you finished?
Well, thank you. How thoughtful. Would you like a chocolate?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Oh, sorry, Sheldon. I almost sat in your spot.
Did you? I didn't notice. Have a chocolate.
Thank you.
You're here a lot now.
Oh, am I talking too much? I'm sorry. Zip.
Thank you. Chocolate?
Yes, please. Oh. Hey, Kim. Yeah. You know what? Hold on. Let me take this in the hall. You'll never get something out of the place you have.
Okay. I know what you're doing. Really? Yes. You're using chocolates as positive reinforcement for what you consider correct behavior. Very good. Chocolate? Sheldon, you can't train my girlfriend like a lab rat. Actually, it turns out I can. Well, you shouldn't. There's just no pleasing you, is there, Leonard? You weren't happy with my previous approach to dealing with her, so I decided to employ operant conditioning techniques, building on the works of Thorndike and V.F. Skinner. Yet by this time next week, I believe I can have her jumping out of a pool, balancing a beach ball on her nose. No, this has to stop now. I'm not suggesting we really make her jump out of a pool. I thought the bazinga was implied. We're just tweaking her personality. It's sanding off the rough edges, if you will. No, you're not sanding Penny. Are you saying that I am forbidden from applying a harmless, scientifically valid protocol that will make our lives better? Yes, you're forbidden. Bad, Leonard. You know, using positive reinforcement techniques, I could train that behavior out of her in a week. No. If you let me use negative reinforcement, I can get done before we go to bed. You're not squirting her in the face with water. No, of course not. We're talking very mild electric shocks. No tissue damage whatsoever.
Forget it.
Oh, come on. You can't tell me that you're not intrigued about the possibility of building a better girlfriend.
Penny's qualities, both good and bad, are what make her who she is.
You mean like that high-pitched, irritating laugh?
Yes.
You wouldn't prefer a throaty chuckle?
You're not changing how Penny laughs.
No, that would be incongruous. I was going to lower the whole voice to a more pleasing register.
Sorry, guys. That girl is freaky.
Come again?
Freaky.
Freaky?
Yeah, freaky.
Have a chocolate.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to make some warm milk and then turn in. I trust if you two are planning on engaging in amorous activities, you'll keep the decibel level to a minimum.
Of course.
Thank you. Unbelievable.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. So that's a nice bit of Big Bang Theory positive reinforcement with chocolate. So your special offer today, we've got lots of things really to talk to you about. If you've enjoyed the webinars, this is a very easy way to provide training for your staff. Webinars, links to different recordings and reading and activities and things like that. And you probably know that I have run a Behaviour Academy. Last year, we've got all the 6 months of the Academy materials, which are in my vault on the website. They're all materials to read. There's circulars for each subject, and there's webinars for each subject. There's slides and activities, etc. And the topics are here on the screen, so there's several there. And what you can do with these is you can have them for CPD, whether it's a whole day or 1 hour, whatever it might be, induction, if you've got to take groups of staff through it. It's very simple to achieve, and all the resources are digital, so you can download what you need and just watch the videos. It's very good for, as I say, Twilight CPD if you're doing that, and I know that some people prefer it. Normally, I mean, it's on the website in my shop, it's £58 for the 6 months, but where the offer for this particular session is 36, and that means £6 for each subject. They're not sold separately, they are all together. If you want one of those, then just email me and let me know. Okay, if you want more information, just let me know. So let's have a look at some questions that I've got here, because I can see a few of you have typed in, and what I've got is, someone has said, can I have another example of positive reinforcement? Another example. Well, I guess there's a couple actually that you can find if you look on the, I think it's Simply Psychology website. If a student was to receive £5 each time they completed their homework, they're more likely to complete their homework in the future, right? So that's another example of positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement, someone wants negative. Well, punishment is sometimes the negative reinforcement, isn't it? And we have discovered, I think, over the years that punishment doesn't work. It's all right for some, and if it's a kind of a first offender, or if it's something that's quite low level, then maybe the punishment will work, but I don't think it does long term. So another example of negative reinforcement might be, or negative, to avoid the negativity, a teenager might wash the dishes to avoid getting nagged at, so they're avoiding the negative. Or it could be that the teenager doesn't wash the dishes, and so they don't get their pocket money. That's the punishment. So that's negative, okay? So the idea is to stop it from happening. Someone else has asked for another positive. This is a good one, and in fact I think I've read this. So is smoking at school, older students obviously, smoking at school, perhaps by getting in with the in crowd, that might be the positive reinforcement. So the consequence is that by smoking you get to hang out with the people you want to hang out with, so that's your reward. But the negative side, the punishment for that could be that if the consequence was that you got caught and you got kept in or suspended or whatever it might be, perhaps you're less likely to do it, less likely to smoke. So those are a couple of things. I'm sure that you can think of quite a few yourself. Someone's asked about the pack. Yes, it's instant access because it's all available. You don't have to wait for it to be delivered. It's available all on the website. So it's unlimited use. It's not for a specific length of time. It's unlimited use. So if you want it, let me know. Well, I hope you've picked up a few tips here today. If you've got any queries at all, just let me know. There'll be a copy available up on the website and I'll let you know how to access it. Thank you very much for coming along today. I hope you have a nice evening and hope to see you again very soon. Bye for now.